We hear a lot about Ascension. You might have watched videos or read articles describing the much talked about symptoms of Ascension. But what is Ascension? It is much more than a spiritual concept. Ascension is all about consciousness and our multidimensionality. So to understand what Ascension is, we must understand consciousness, and we must also understand what makes us multidimensional beings. First, let's talk about consciousness. Consciousness is energy, and energy is consciousness. These terms are interchangeable. You might have heard that everything is energy, including us. It means that we are consciousness. Consciousness, intelligent energy, contracts, which is called vibration, and retracts, which is called oscillation. The combination of these two phenomena, vibration and oscillation, is called frequency. Each variation of oscillation and vibration creates a change of frequency, and most specifically in the spectrum of frequency. Because everything is frequency, everything in the universe is a part of the frequency spectrum. The lower the frequency, the heavier the density. Now let's talk about multidimensionality. When we say that we are incarnated in the 3D, we are pointing out the multidimensionality of the universe we're living in. 3D, or third dimension, is one of the lower density dimensions, which means that in the universe we're living in, there are other dimensions of higher frequency. Much higher. The universe will be perceived differently depending on the dimension experienced. Just like the universe, we are multidimensional, which means that on the frequency spectrum, there are many versions of us vibrating at different frequency. Hence, we perceive ourselves differently depending on the dimension we are experiencing, whether it is the universe or us. What is experiencing those dimensions? Well, it's consciousness. A being incarnated in the 3D and before spiritual awakening vibrates at the same level than the density in which they are incarnated. Hence, their consciousness is experiencing the 3D. When these beings awaken spiritually, they realize their multidimensionality. Their consciousness can then experience itself widely on the frequency spectrum, because not only it is aware of the 3D, but also of all the dimensions that are a part of the being. A dimension is a reality. So to awaken our consciousness to multidimensionality is awakening to multiple realities. It is when the awakened being realizes that they also exist at a very high frequency, in other terms, that they exist in divine form, that we talk about spiritual awakening. Paradoxically, ascension is when the beings bring down their divine selves, higher consciousness inside the lower density. This powerful energetic movement between the higher frequency spiritual bodies and the lower frequency physical bodies causes all the symptoms we hear so much about. Beyond the physical symptoms, it causes turmoil in our material world in general. Because we vibrate differently, we might not be compatible anymore with what surrounds us. Whether it is in our home, with our family, our friends, or in our profession, strong emotions start to come up. Spiritual ascension is 99% of emotional purification, which means that the most fundamental steps on this journey are to learn how to welcome, live, understand, and let go of our emotions.